break northwards to the Rock Mount Coast and streaming live in HD worldwide at foxbangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Hello everyone. Today on Good Morning Maine, the individual who was driving a bus in Rockland and hit and killed a child will likely avoid jail time. We'll have the details coming up. Plus, nurses at Maine Medical Center in Portland held a protest yesterday urging the return of a coworker who was detained by ICE. And Scarborough police are reporting more sharks were spotted off Pine Point. We'll have the latest on that as well. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Janessa Bishop. Craig Colson is off for the day. We'll have those stories and much more coming up in the show. And as always, we thank you for joining us. Now for the weather, it looks like the sunny skies and high temperatures will continue throughout the day today. Let's start off this morning by getting a first check of our forecast. Devin Biggs joins us now.
Alrighty, Janessa, thank you very much. Happy Thursday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Quality Automotive and Brewer. Experience the Quality Automotive difference. Reliable service and expert care that you can depend on. Call us to schedule your next appointment. 922-2043. Alrighty, here we go. We do have some clouds that are passing through this morning. Overall, it will be a nice one with a lot of sunshine, and you may notice a few passing clouds pushing forward today. Already, as we do zoom things out, you notice a little bit of activity off towards the west. This will be our next system that will be moving in, bringing with it some rain showers and yes, a few rumbles of thunder as we do push forward today. Futurecast, all right, a lot of sunshine on the way for us today. Notice we'll have a little bit of energy passing through tonight. A slight chance for a shower or thunderstorm that will be possible. Alrighty, for today, lots of sunshine. It will be hot out there with highs in the low 90s and that west wind getting up to about 5 miles per hour. An isolated storm possible tonight, otherwise partly cloudy with lows only in the upper 60s and the wind overall looking nice and calm. The hourly forecast pushing forward, lots of sunshine today. You may notice some clouds at times with temperatures in the 90s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Janessa?
All right, thank you, Devin. We'll see you a little later on. Well, the person who was behind the wheel of a school bus that hit and killed a child in Rockland last year will likely not spend any time in jail, and the parents of that child are speaking out through their attorney. According to the attorneys in the case, 65-year-old Jeffrey Colburn of Camden was indicted for manslaughter in January of 2026. As part of a plea deal worked out with the state, Colburn will now plead guilty to a lesser motor vehicle violation resulting in death. It will require an acknowledgement of responsibility for conduct resulting in Braden Callahan's death. The report agreement has not yet been addressed by the court. A hearing is reportedly scheduled for August 11th in Knox County. The maximum sentence is a 4-year license suspension and a $5,000 fine. 12-year-old Braden Callahan was killed in November of 2025. According to the Rockland Police Department report, Callahan was approaching the marked crosswalk at the front of the bus when the bus moved forward and struck him. Colburn reportedly told police that he did not see him. The report says that video from the bus showed the bus crossing arm was no longer deployed. Attorneys for the boy's parents said in a statement on their behalf, quote, "They are not without sympathy for Mr. Colburn and the profound consequences he will carry. But their primary concern is that RSU 13, the institution entrusted with protecting children on its buses, be held fully accountable for the safety systems, training, supervision, and decisions that failed Braden." The family asked for privacy as they continue mourning their son. Well, meanwhile, a juvenile has been charged with arson in connection with a fire in Oakland. Public safety spokesperson Shannon Moss says that the fire happened on July 26 at the residence on Libby Hill Road. There were 5 children and 2 adults sleeping inside the home at the time of the fire. She says working smoke alarms alerted an occupant to the fire, allowing everyone to escape without injury. According to Moss, quick suppression efforts by the Oakland Fire Department contained much of the fire to one bedroom and the hallway area of the 2nd floor. After completing a scene examination and speaking with witnesses, she says that investigators determined the fire was intentionally set. The juvenile has been taken to Long Creek Youth Development Facility in Portland. A piece of critical infrastructure serving a local community is out of service, and that is raising public safety concerns in Bangor. Our Alex Schley has more on the impact and what is being done to fix it.
A fire hydrant serving the brick church and the surrounding community on 1st Street was vandalized last month, and officials say it could still be weeks before it's fully repaired. The brick church's Pastor Leon says the incident happened on July 21st.
People here on the sidewalk outside the church were intoxicated. They started trying to climb our small little trees over there, and then they jumped down out of the trees and they jumped on the fire hydrant.
Pastor Leon says the individuals who have not been identified snapped part of the hydrant off, cutting off the water supply to the only shower available for people during the summer.
It is so important for these people in this community to get a nice hot shower once in a while, or just a shower in general, just to wash off the sweat.
The general manager of the Bangor Water District, Chuck Harrison, confirmed the repair falls under their jurisdiction. However, with it still unclear who damaged the hydrant, it is also unclear who will be responsible for covering the cost of the repairs.
We have not had any conversations with the Water District or with anybody for that matter.
In the meantime, the brick church had to make plumbing changes.
We had to redo our plumbing so that we can keep it going at least, but we were down.
Harrison says the Water District is working to get the hydrant back in service in the coming weeks. Officials say the impact goes beyond the showers, as the damaged hydrant is also one of the primary fire hydrants serving the 1st Street area.
I mean, for us, for the people next door, for the people around here, that fire hydrant is out of order and there's no water coming out of it. So it should be a really big issue for this area.
In Bangor, Alex Schley for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, in other news this morning, law enforcement is encouraging residents to use online reporting for non-active incidents. As part of that effort, the Bangor Police Department has revamped its system to make it more user-friendly and accessible. Sergeant Jeremy Brock says that the goal is to make reporting easier for residents while also helping the department better allocate resources. Brock says that while residents should never hesitate to call emergency services, there are some situations where using the online system may be more appropriate.
Such as like a package gets taken off your porch, or there's maybe a shoplifting that store discovers, 3 or 4 days later. It's more convenient for the user to be able to report that at their convenience when they have the information and be able to get their reports and follow up with officers through email.
Officers say that the system can also be used to submit anonymous tips. We will have a link to Bangor's online reporting system on our website at foxbangor.com. Well, physicians in Maine raised concerns about Senator Susan Collins' record on health care. The Zoom press conference yesterday was hosted by the Committee to Protect Health Care. They and 3 Maine physicians are calling on Senator Collins to respond to her 2018 vote to confirm Brett Kavanaugh to the U.S. Supreme Court, which they say made way for Roe v. Wade being overturned, and her 2022 no vote on the Inflation Reduction Act.
It speaks volumes for seniors across our state, many of whom rely on multiple prescriptions while on fixed incomes.
Dr. Nissen also expressed praise for U.S. Senate candidate Troy Jackson, who he says championed Maine's Prescription Drug Affordability Board as well. And in that same response to the Zoom press conference, Senator Collins' campaign spokesperson Sean Roderick said, quote, "This is a Chicago-based far-left PAC that supports extreme progressive candidates, so it's no surprise that they are backing Troy Jackson. This PAC doesn't care about anything about Maine. It only works to elect far-left candidates that share its agenda. And unlike Troy Jackson, Susan Collins has always supported a woman's right to choose," end quote. A memo from the city of Bangor says nearly $7.5 million of the city's pandemic relief funding awards still have not been spent as the end of June. Over the past several years, the city has awarded nearly $20.5 million in American Rescue Plan Act funds to multiple applicants, and $13 million has been given out since June 30th of this year. The money has been allocated to projects within the city and its nonprofit organizations, but there are 9 projects that have yet to spend their funds. According to a memo from City Manager Carolyn Lear to the Council's Government Operations Committee on Monday, it says, quote, "Of the unspent funds, 6 nonprofits are represented, some with nominal amounts remaining and some with substantial amounts remaining. Over $4 million is attributable to the city programs and projects, including improvements to wastewater infrastructure and supporting the recently approved Grandview Avenue housing project. City staff is working diligently to ensure the remaining funds are spent by the deadline. and any amounts not spent before the deadline of December 31st of 2026 must be returned to the federal government. Were nurses at Maine Medical Center demanding the return of a coworker who was detained by ICE. Deborah Capisci, originally from Zambia, ICE says it took her into custody in Boston last week after her visa expired in November of 2024. CBS 13's Sam DeCoste reports.
Maine Medical Center confirmed that Deborah Capisci is a registered nurse that works here at the hospital. ICE says that she came to the U.S. 2 years ago from Zambia. Her nurses union says that she was unfairly detained on the basis that they say she was legally authorized to live and work here. According to Maine Health, everyone who works for the company is vetted to ensure they are authorized to legally live and work here. Now the company says it is in contact with Maine's congressional delegation to learn more about her status, and also in talks with Capisci's attorney to provide support in securing her release. The nurses union claims she is currently being held in Massachusetts and that ICE intends to transfer her to Louisiana. Protest organizers say that move was put on hold today because of their protest. Attendees of this afternoon's protest, including state leaders like Hannah Pingree and Decca DeLocke, are calling for Capisci's safe and immediate return and the abolishment of ICE.
This is not about safety. This is not about border security. It is about control over black and brown bodies. It is about the humiliation of the arrest. It's about the isolation. It's about the fear. We can have reasonable discussions about border security without degrading our fellow human beings.
ICE issued a statement about Capisci's detainment saying in part, quote, "Being in detention is a choice. We encourage all illegal aliens to take control of their departure, reserve the chance to come back to the U.S., the right legal way to live the American dream. If not, you will be arrested and deported without a chance to return." ICE also said that Capisci will remain in custody pending the result of her case.
And that was Sam DeCoste reporting. Well, the time now is 6:12. Coming up next on Good Morning Maine, the fight to keep Lincoln Hospital's labor and delivery unit open is coming to a head. But first, another look at our forecast. For today, nice day ahead, mostly sunny and hot with highs around 93. Overnight tonight, partly cloudy with a chance of thunder showers, highs around 69. And for tomorrow, relatively similar with highs around 93. We'll be right back.
Make your outdoor living space dreams come true with a little help from Granville Stone and Hearth. Granville can help you go from this to this. Outdoor fireplaces, custom outdoor kitchens, gorgeous stone patios, and more. You bring the dreams, we'll supply the materials to make it all real. Create your stunning outdoor oasis with help from the experts at Granville Stone and Hearth, Main Road, Holden.
Troy Jackson bragged about being one of Graham Plattner's earliest supporters. When the news of Plattner's Nazi tattoo came out, Jackson stood with Plattner. When Plattner blamed women for getting raped because they get drunk, Jackson stood by Plattner. And when the media reported Plattner was violent toward women, Jackson stood again with Plattner.
I want to say thank you very much to Troy.
Don't be fooled by Troy Jackson. He's another phony we can't trust. Pine Tree Results PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Thinking of buying a used car? Be on the alert for the potential for fraud with private vehicle sales. Knowing the signs of fraud and doing your research can help ensure you get a good deal and not swindled. Before handing over your hard-earned cash, thoroughly research the vehicle's history. And remember, if a deal seems too good to be true, it probably is. Brought to you by this station, the Maine Association of Broadcasters, and the Office of the Secretary of State.
A former substitute teacher has been indicted by a grand jury on a charge of felony gross sexual assault. 31-year-old Tyler Gadare is accused of engaging in an ongoing improper relationship with a 17-year-old female student between September and December of 2025. The student was enrolled at the Androscoggin Learning and Transition Center, a behavioral alternative school. Court documents show the relationship included sexual contact inside a classroom. Well, meanwhile, a woman has now filed a lawsuit against Maine Health, along with multiple Maine Health boards and other individuals, over the possible closure of the county's only birthing center. The woman claims she and her legal team are now in a race to stop the closure or at least delay it before Maine Health makes a final decision, which is expected at some point today. CBS 13's Max Williams has the details.
The fight to keep Lincoln Hospital's labor and delivery unit open is reaching a critical point.
We'll have to drive 40 miles to mid-coast. I mean, that could be the difference between an ordinary delivery or a medical emergency.
Karina Stum, who is pregnant and expecting to give birth in Lincoln County, and her legal team announced this morning they are suing Maine Health, several of its boards, and Lincoln Hospital.
My client is going to suffer catastrophic, irreparable harm if we can't stop this closure.
As part of the 13-page lawsuit, Stum is seeking immediate declaratory and injunctive relief to preserve the status of the only labor and delivery unit in Lincoln County.
This isn't lawyers filing documents to get money. This is about public safety, and this is a tremendous risk.
Count one of the lawsuit claims Maine Health misled the public about the review process, the need to close the birthing center, and the factual basis for its recommendation. Count two asked the court to keep the status quo of the center to prevent irreparable injury. CBS 13 reached out to Maine Health for comment but did not hear back. The health system has previously said the proposed closure is driven by staffing challenges and declining birth rates.
85 years they've been getting born in the walls of that hospital, and they need to go for another 85.
If Maine Health decides to shut down the birthing center, it will become the 12th one in Maine to close in roughly a decade.
For, our well-being and going into the birth of our child, feeling good about that. We want to be surrounded by the people that we love and in a place that we know and trust.
And as of right now, the Maine Health Board of Trustees is set to make a final vote on if they will close the birthing center here at Lincoln Hospital tomorrow.
And that was Max Williams reporting. Well, meanwhile, more sharks are showing up in Maine, and this time about half a dozen in one spot. For the second day in a row, Scarborough police are reporting more sharks were spotted off Pine Point. Scarborough police say that a drone operator monitoring that area spotted 5 to 7 sharks off of Pine Point. They were seen swimming and feeding near the shore. Police say there are no reported injuries, and the increase in sharks is because of an increased availability of bait fish and seals. Yesterday's sightings are in addition to 2 sharks that were spotted in the same area on Tuesday. And the New England Aquarium is warning people we are entering peak shark season, so watch out when you head out onto the water. On Tuesday, police say that there were 2 confirmed juvenile great white sharks spotted off of Proutis Neck in Scarborough, not far from the shore. The video shows a paddleboarder out fishing when he encountered those sharks. The New England Aquarium says that right now, people need to be shark smart. Don't isolate yourself if you're out in the water, don't swim near schools of fish or seals, and don't make a commotion that could draw the attention of curious sharks.
Sharks, we know they're not here for humans. We know they're here for, their natural prey, but we have had incidences with fatalities both in Maine and Massachusetts over the last several years.
The aquarium says a lot of the reported sightings received are actually just ocean sunfish, which are harmless, but that shouldn't stop people from reporting if they think that they see something like a shark in the water. The time now is 6:18. After the break, we'll have an update on foodborne illnesses spreading across the country. Those details coming up. Plus, members of Down East Horizons had the chance to explore an oceanarium. Those stories and more straight ahead on Good Morning Maine.
At China Wok on Broadway in Bangor, we're serving up your Chinese favorites. Our food is delicious, our staff is friendly, and our service is fast. Open Tuesday through Sunday, call ahead, order online, or just stop by. Enjoy our indoor dining for the full experience, or get takeout that the whole family will enjoy. We'll make sure your cravings are satisfied. China Wok on Broadway in Bangor, where tradition meets flavor.
Need a driveway paved or an entire road surfaced? Give Eaton Paving and Excavation a call. Eaton Paving offers a full line of excavation packages, from new home projects to new and replacement septics and driveways. We also install new shoreland and do shoreland repairs. Our operators have more than 75 years combined experience, and we have been delivering quality, professional service for nearly 3 decades. We strive to exceed your expectations. Give us a call today at 207-348-5630 or visit us at EatonPaving.com.
I went to work in the woods after high school. The harder we worked, the more that the companies took from us. That's why we organized. We made them listen. People are doing everything they can right and still cannot get ahead. Susan Collins keeps telling us everything is just fine. Who has she served? She has served Donald Trump. She has served the billionaires. She has served herself. We are getting screwed, and I'm running to change that.
Government that Works PAC's responsible for the content of this ad.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, in Bar Harbor, the Oceanarium Education Center welcomed nearly 100 people from Down East Horizons, a local organization providing services for individuals with developmental disabilities and autism. Our Doug Banks with that story.
This is one of my favorite groups to work with.
Nearly 100 people from Down East Horizons visited the Oceanarium and Education Center in Bar Harbor on Wednesday, where they explored interactive exhibits and learned about the Gulf of Maine's distinct marine life.
And then we've got 25 acres of salt marsh ecosystem with hiking trails and some really nice views and really cool animals.
It's cool. You can't really go to the ocean and like touch them and stuff like that, so it's fun.
For over 5 decades, Down East Horizons has provided community-based services for individuals with developmental disabilities and autism.
Some people say, well, they can't do that. Well, that's not true. Just give them the opportunity. They can work magic.
He credits the generous donors who make trips like Wednesday's possible, not only to learn new things, but to make lasting memories and lasting connections.
I love it. I'm from Louisiana. To meet new people and meet new friends.
Must be really nice.
Yes.
Down East Horizons has been coming to the Oceanarium Bar Harbor for the last 3 years, and those I spoke with on Wednesday say they hope this tradition continues for many more years to come.
They're just so happy, and it's just a blessing to be able to see the smiles on their faces.
As long as everyone's enjoying it, we're going to keep on doing it.
In Bar Harbor, Doug Banks, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, the time now is 6:22. Let's get a full look at our forecast. Meteorologist Devin Biggs is in with the latest.
All righty, Janessa, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Quality Automotive and Brewer. Experience the Quality Automotive difference. Reliable service and expert care that you can depend on. Call us to schedule your next appointment, 922-2043. Wave heights not looking too bad. No advisories in effect. 2-foot wave heights being noted right about in here, and not looking too bad farther off towards the north and east. Farther out towards sea, 3 to 4 foot wave heights being measured at this moment in time. Checking out the water temperatures, we're currently in the lower to even upper 60s, a little bit of a wider range this morning, and even some 60s and even some 70s being measured farther out towards sea. And overall, just as some clouds being measured this morning on the radar and satellites. So overall, we are looking nice and quiet this morning. As we do zoom things out, that right there is going to be our next system that we'll be tracking off towards the east, and that will be giving us some showers and even some thunderstorms that will be coming up rather soon. In fact, we have an isolated chance that will be coming up later on tonight. So futurecast in the meantime, we'll have a lot of sunshine today. You may notice a few passing clouds, more clouds on the way later on tonight with an isolated chance for a shower or storm possible. We'll keep some storm chances on the way as we head towards your Friday, albeit very isolated in nature. And then once we head towards Friday night, those storm chances will keep increasing. Your dew points, let's talk about those. Those will keep increasing too as the temperatures remain rather hot. So definitely keep that air conditioning handy, and the water too. Friday all the way through at least Sunday, we'll have dew points in the middle upper 60s, even some lower 70s out there, and a little bit of a reprieve late Sunday and a parts of Tuesday, but still a little bit humid humid nonetheless. So mostly sunny and hot today with highs in the low 90s and a west wind at about 5 miles per hour. Overnight, upper 60s, partly cloudy, some isolated storms, and the wind overall looking nice and calm. And then for tomorrow, partly cloudy, a few thunderstorms, lower 90s again for the high, and that west wind at about 5 miles per hour. Your extended forecast Saturday, showers and thunderstorms, mid 80s for the high. Temperatures go down a bit, and then upper 80s for your Sunday, a chance for showers and some thunderstorms. We keep the storms going Monday with highs in the upper 80s.
Looking for a great glass at prices that don't break the bank? The Cheese House in Fairfield has you covered. From classic designs to unique styles, our huge selection of quality glassware is perfect for every taste and every budget. Friendly staff, honest pricing, and new pieces arriving all the time. There's always something fresh to see. Stop into the Cheese House at 5 Pike Drive, Fairfield. Great glass, great prices, and a great time.
In the ICU, I've seen patients being bankrupted by the cost of care, and they're having to travel 3 and 4 hours to receive that care. This didn't just happen. Susan Collins voted to support Donald Trump on the largest Medicaid cut in history. Healthcare is getting even more expensive. People are losing coverage, labor and delivery centers are closing, hospitals are closing. We need to tell Susan Collins to stop siding with Donald Trump. We can't afford it.
The right dock should fit your shoreline and make life on the water easier, more rewarding, and more fun. When you choose Shoremaster from Hammond Lumber Company, you get all that, along with unmatched strength, versatility, and style. Shoremaster's tool-free Infinity Track system makes adding accessories a breeze. Hammond also offers polydock floating docks, perfect for deep or fluctuating waters. Transform your waterfront into your personal paradise with a Shoremaster Infinity Dock system or floating polydock system from Hammond Lumber Company.
Big bucks. Big dreams. No whammies. I said no whammies.
Press your luck tonight on ABC and stream on Hulu.
Next Jeopardy!
It's been a week of big paydays
and wild surprises. Now, in a game this epic, which player will cash out?
That was spectacular work.
Next Jeopardy!
Only on ABC 7.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
We begin this segment with the latest foodborne illnesses spreading across the country. This time it's salmonella outbreak affecting more than 24 states, and it's leading some popular restaurants to ditch jalapeno peppers. Meanwhile, the parasitic outbreak that sickened thousands of people continues to expand. Here's ABC's Sophie Flay.
This morning, the CDC says a salmonella outbreak linked to jalapenos distributed to restaurant chains including Chipotle and Qdoba is growing. Officials now say 345 people have gotten sick in these 27 states, and dozens of people have been hospitalized. The peppers were grown in Mexico, and both restaurant chains have now removed them from their menus.
We are seeing multiple surging cases of foodborne illnesses across the country from different sources, and it does feel unusual.
It comes as the ongoing parasite outbreak linked to recalled lettuce, also grown in Mexico, expands to 15 states. In that outbreak, more than 6,000 people have gotten sick, and 2 people have died in Michigan. After budget cuts and staffing reductions across the public health system, officials are stretched as they respond to multiple multi-state outbreaks at once.
Funding cuts across federal, state, and local levels that have affected our ability to prevent, detect, and investigate these foodborne illnesses. In a specific example, FoodNet, which is a national surveillance program designed to investigate and detect foodborne illnesses, had a big funding cut last year.
Food safety isn't the only concern. More water systems in the U.S. are coming under attack by hackers. An intelligence note reviewed by ABC News provides the clearest indication yet that Iran may be behind the cyber attacks that have targeted utilities in more than a dozen states. The hackers may have been scouting targets months in advance. Officials in Utah identified nearly 500 attempted intrusions from an Iran-linked IP address. Each attempted intrusion was blocked. We've also learned 2 water utilities in New Jersey reported that their automated systems went down, forcing operators to switch to manual controls. Sophie Flay, ABC News, New York.
Well, now to a crisis averted in the skies over our nation's capital. This morning, the FAA and National Transportation Safety Board are investigating how a passenger plane was allowed to take off from Reagan National Airport just moments before President Trump took off from the White House on the Marine One presidential helicopter. Per protocol, airspace should have been cleared. Under standard procedure, controllers should have paused commercial traffic at Reagan National, but it appears controllers did not hear any warnings. One controller even claiming on the radio that there was no warning that was given. The FAA says that 2 planes were not on the course to crash and President Trump was never in danger, but the lapse in protocol is raising serious questions about why that passenger jet was allowed to take off when airspace should have been halted. Well, thousands of former for-profit college students will see their student loans eliminated following a ruling regarding a years-long class action battle over alleged predatory practices. The Department of Education will erase around $11 billion in student loan debt for more than 170,000 people. The ruling stems from a 2019 class action lawsuit centered on claims certain for-profit schools misled borrowers about job placement and future earnings. This made the students eligible for a loan discharge program known as borrower defense. The case was settled under Biden's presidency in 2022 with the condition that claims filed after the deal was announced would be automatically approved by early 2026. If the Education Department failed to review them, although President Trump asked for an additional 18 months to review the cases last year, a judge rejected that request and the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals upheld the decision. According to data collected from the Education Department, there are 463,000 pending borrower defense claims awaiting a decision. The department says about 1/3 of the cases will be resolved in this settlement, but the others could last several years. Well, now to the growing debate over a new camera system being used by police across the country. At issue, security versus privacy, and now more allegations that some officers are misusing that technology. ABC's Sophie Flay once again has that report.
This morning, a now former North Carolina police officer is facing charges, accused of using her department's controversial license plate cameras to track her boyfriend's ex-wife. Investigators say Elizabeth Snowman accessed the department's flock camera system dozens of times for personal use. Flock cameras automatically scan every license plate that passes, logging the vehicle, the time, and the location into a searchable database that police can use to track vehicles.
She accessed the computers, the LPR cameras, to find information and track her boyfriend's ex-wife.
Newsweek reports officers in at least a dozen states have faced allegations of misusing flock license plate reader systems, including 10 officers in Georgia in recent weeks. Police say the camera technology has been a game changer for solving crimes, but
it all goes up in smoke when you have cops like this violating the system.
Flock Safety says it now has about 120,000 cameras installed across the U.S. Critics call it a mass surveillance system, sparking protests over privacy concerns. Cameras in Houston have been vandalized, covered in spray paint. In Winona, Minnesota, all 8 of the city's cameras were stolen. Flock's CEO saying the company is now under a coordinated attack, but insists America can have both safety and privacy. The American Civil Liberties Union says more than 50 communities nationwide have terminated their flock camera contracts in the last year. Sophie Flay, ABC News, New York.
Half of the newscast, a local roofing company is donating their services to a man in need. This and more as Good Morning Maine continues.
Invest in your nest with the County Federal Credit Union. Your home has grown in value season after season. With the county's 10-10 Home Equity Line of Credit, you can borrow up to your credit limit over 10 years with interest-only payments over those 10 years, 10-10. And then you can stop and smell the roses, soak up the sun, and invest in your nest. The 10-10 Home Equity Line of Credit, the County Federal Credit Union, countyfcu.org.
Here at Twin City Tire and Service, you will be working with industry professionals. We have ASE certified master technicians and certified tire and lube technicians. If we need your vehicle for a duration of time, we offer a complimentary shuttle service and can even offer a loaner vehicle. Being a client at Twin City Tire and Service means that we will treat you right. This includes a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on mechanical repairs. We also provide you with 1 year of complimentary roadside assistance. Come see us today at Twin City Tire and Service in Brewer.
Jado Highlands Golf Course, nestled in the woods of Lincoln, just a short drive from Bangor or Holton. Designed for players of all abilities, Jado features everything a golfer desires. 18 fully irrigated holes, driving range, practice green, and a golf shop with instruction available. Jado maintains quality course conditions while proudly displaying some of the most scenic views in Maine. Challenge yourself to a round of golf surrounded by the beauty of Maine at Jado Highlands Golf Course.
Around here, you take pride in your home, and who you trust to work on it matters. That's why folks turn to AF&F Carpentry. From kitchens and custom woodwork to full home renovations, we bring military-grade discipline and focus to every project. Our work has been featured on Operation CEO. No shortcuts, no surprises, just solid craftsmanship you can count on. AF&F Carpentry, serving Maine homeowners with pride.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
As Jurassic Park showed us all, nothing gets the blood pumping quite like being chased by a Tyrannosaurus Rex. But we can only imagine the adrenaline rush when it's more than 300 T-Rexes on a run as part of the annual event that is once again being broadcast as part of ESPN's Ocho Week extravaganza. Here's ABC's Danny New.
Welcome to the epicenter of reptilian races.
Tonight, ESPN once again kicks off its annual celebration of the world's most eccentric sports with a 4-day event known as the Ocho.
Estela Nunez, the fellow Brazil. Oh, that's a shooting.
Competitions range anywhere from pillow fights
and T-Rexes away
to an annual event known as the T-Rex World Championship Races.
You can hear why he won.
For the second year in a row, I flew out to Seattle to serve as the on-air host for the broadcast. Uh-oh! Who's here? While grabbing behind-the-scenes footage of the roughly 300 competitors who traveled to Emerald Downs Racetrack last month.
It's my dream to be here racing, and oh my God, look at me now, I'm here!
Folks traveled from all over the country to sprint in an inflatable T-Rex costume and try to win a giant trophy.
Are you going to win?
No,
I'm going to finish. And that is winning.
Including 79-year-old Lance here. He ate me. Why'd you let him eat me? And 4-year-old Weston, who liked watching me get eaten a lot more than the dog behind us.
Oh, and the leader fell.
Of course, it can be a little dangerous to run with a bunch of carnivores, which is why it helps to bring support. For example, Andy here saw her entire family show up sporting Andy T-Rex t-shirts.
Why'd you get everybody organized to do this?
Because we love Andy and we wanted to support her. We thought this was awesome.
But if you're still wondering, why do people go through so much effort to come rumble and stumble as reptiles? Well, I think 13-year-old Lucas here put it quite eloquently.
It's a great opportunity, and my mom forced me to do this, so.
That's a great reason to do anything.
The T-Rex World Championship races air tonight at 8 p.m. on our sister station, ESPN2. And by the way, this is the 10-year anniversary of the Ocho. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
Well, I have to say, I hope these Danny News stories make you laugh just as much as they make me laugh. Now let's turn things right back over to meteorologist Devin Biggs.
Alrighty, Janessa, thank you very much. Happy Thursday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Quality Automotive and Brewer. Experience the Quality Automotive difference. Reliable service and expert care that you can depend on. Call us to schedule your next appointment. 922-2043. Alrighty, here we go. We do have some clouds that are passing through this morning. Overall, it will be a nice one with a lot of sunshine, and you may notice a few passing passing clouds pushing forward today. Already as we do zoom things out, you notice a little bit of activity off towards the west. This will be our next system that will be moving in, bringing with it some rain showers and yes, a few rumbles of thunder as we do push forward today. Futurecast, all right, a lot of sunshine on the way for us today. Notice we'll have a little bit of energy passing through tonight. A slight chance for a shower or thunderstorm that will be possible. Alrighty, for today, lots of sunshine. It will be hot out there with highs in the low 90s and that west wind getting up to about 5 miles per hour. An isolated storm possible tonight, otherwise partly cloudy with lows only in the upper 60s and the wind overall looking nice and calm. The hourly forecast pushing forward, lots of sunshine today. You may notice some clouds at times with temperatures in the 90s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Janessa?
All right, thank you, Devin. Well, now for the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Jacqueline Lee.
Get ready to return to Stars Hollow. A new HBO Max documentary is taking fans behind the scenes of Gilmore Girls. It'll feature interviews with creator Amy Sherman-Palladino, actress Lauren Graham, and more. No word yet when it's coming out.
I'm just trying to move forward.
So I'm planning on having a girls' weekend to Nantucket. 5-Star Weekend is coming back for season 2. Peacock picked up the show for another season after it became the streamer's most watched scripted series. Jennifer Garner stars as Hollis Shaw, a famous cook trying to move past a devastating loss. We're getting our first look at the Martin spinoff, The Varnell Hill Show. The workplace comedy follows Tommy Davidson as a fictional talk show host with Martin Lawrence guest starring. It comes out September 1st on Paramount+. And happy birthday to actor Leslie Odom Jr. He turns 45 today. That's what's happening in Hollywood. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News.
Well, still to come here this morning, Max Sturm with sports. Don't go away.
Hey, Red Sox fans, you've got to play You Pick 'em Red Sox at foxbangor.com. Local weekly winners receive prizes from Chase's Family Restaurant in Bangor or from Chick-fil-A. Register now at foxbangor.com. You Pick 'em Red Sox is sponsored by Seasons Grill and Lounge on Main Street in Bangor, Twin City Tile, State Street in Brewer, and Bogies on Stillwater Avenue in Bangor.
Keep your boat safe, functional, and beautiful with a Shoremaster boat lift from Hammond Lumber Company. Your Hammond sales rep can help you choose the perfect lift for your boat. Shoremaster's exclusive Whisper winch offers the industry's smoothest and quietest operation. Add speed and convenience with a Shoremaster lift motor. And Shoremaster's modular Infinity design makes it easy to upgrade with accessories when you're ready. Take your boating experience to the next level with a Shoremaster boat lift from Hammond Lumber Company.
Some days start with busted belts and bruised knuckles. But out here, fixing things is just part of the ride. No matter what I'm doing, I have just the right tool close by. From the workshop to the ballpark, it's about making a difference where it counts. From fixing it right to living it fully. Coastal Auto Parts and Milwaukee Packout Systems help me get to the moments that matter most with the people that matter more.
ABC 7 and Fox 22's Jack Webb named Maine's Sportscaster of the Year by the National Sports Media Association.
Welcome back in, folks. The Gray New Gloucester Raymond Little League Baseball team is gearing up for New England Regionals this Saturday. WGME's Dave Ead has the story.
1, 2, 3, GGR!
The Gray New Gloucester Raymond Little League team will open up the New England Regionals this Saturday afternoon against Massachusetts.
It's kind of one game at a time has really been our approach all the way through.
Head coach Eric Hanley says winning states and moving on to Bristol has been a dream come true.
We're thrilled that we've gotten as far as we have, so it's been great.
You guys, just enjoy it, all right? Enjoy it, okay? You guys are going to like it. Don't get nervous, all right?
Gage Ryu, Chase Pacanza, and Mason Emergent were all part of that magical 2023 Gray New Gloucester Raymond team that advanced to Williamsport and the Little League World Series. And now the three get to watch their younger brothers try and accomplish the same goal.
And I hope it does, because I want to go back. I want to watch these boys. This is the group I want to do it. I love being in the dugout with all of them, but it's nice to be on the sidelines and cheer them on.
going from a field like this for states and then going to a field with cameras all in your face it's hard to get used to, but I think they're gonna love it.
And for the younger brothers, it's like deja vu all over again.
Yeah, it kind of lets me know what to expect up there.
I know what my older brother and his team did there. I want to copy that for our team. He gives me a lot of knowledge on all the pressure that can build up, and he just says stay calm and play baseball.
Coach Hanley says having the sibling lineage has been a big hit.
No, I think they're all excited for it. It's very cool. It's pretty rare.
And while these boys of summer hope to slug their way to Williamsport, they'll have plenty of support along the way.
Go GNGR!
As the fall approaches, the Maine women's soccer team is back in action as they prepare to make a run at a 4th straight America East title. The regular season for the Black Bears is just about a week away when they travel to take on Rhode Island in the season opener. Senior midfielder Abby Thornton says that the team is just extremely excited to be back out on the field and that the energy surrounding the team has already been great.
It's really good to be back. It's kind of nice to also start this year on the new field. And with the whole team, we all got such good vibes. So I think we're all happy back kicking the soccer ball around and having a good time.
Last season, the Black Bears didn't start the season the way that they had hoped. In the beginning, it was just one win in the first 6 games, but in mid-October, they fought hard to make the playoffs, and they rallied back to win their 3rd straight America East title. Thornton says that fight is one of the great attributes of this team, and that they know no matter how the season shapes out, the Black Bears will always have a chance.
Kind of what you're saying, I think it kind of showed us that doesn't matter how obviously we want to start on a good front, but through hard work, we went through so many injuries and everything. People really stepped up and filled major roles. So I think just as a team, you can get so much more done and achieve way more than you set out or that you thought you could in the beginning.
Speaking of Maine fall sports, how about some football action for you? The Maine football team took to Alphonse Stadium on Wednesday evening for their first scrimmage of the preseason, and the team started with offense and defensive drills at 6 p.m. They then went into some goal line work, which is what we'll start with right here. Here is a great play from freshman quarterback Michael McMaw. He shows his ability to extend with his legs and then finds Evan Wallace in the end zone who gets in for the score. McMaw shows us the legs, and now he's going to show us the strength as he fights through defenders on a designed run. Now, without a clear starter, all QBs were on display on Wednesday. Keegan Andrews is one of those guys. Here's a nice pass to the tight end for the first down. In defense, we'll give you some love as well. A deep pass here is knocked down by freshman Ty McClear. He had a great couple of breakups in this scrimmage, but here's the play of the night. Matt Payne drops back, goes for it all, and he's going to find Thomas Simard in the end zone for the long score. Now, one more Maine athletics story for you. Members of several teams took to Waterville to celebrate Youth Day. Multiple teams, including the Maine women's basketball team, made the drive down 95 to Waterville to spend the day with local kids on the basketball court. The event was done in partnership with New Balance, and the teams were welcomed in with introduction tunnels just like you see in the games, and both players and coaches took to center court to speak with the kids. A really cool event that those kids will remember for a long time. That's all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
Disturbing news about threats of violence against women. Is it Graham Plattner again? No, it's Troy Jackson. When a female legislator disagreed with Jackson, he threw a water bottle at her in anger. The woman was deeply frightened. Jackson was known for bullying, and his screaming felt like intentional intimidation. His brash conduct with women raised alarm bells about his temperament. Troy Jackson, another phony we can't trust. Pine Tree Results Pack is responsible for the content of this advertising.
For the best selection in classic and contemporary furnishings, stop by Richard Parks Furniture on High Street in Ellsworth. Handcrafted New England-made bedrooms and dining rooms, imported Scandinavian recliners and upholstery, more than 40 lines of furniture for the home and patio. Richard Parks Furniture is your #1 stop for quality, functionality, and well-designed furniture at affordable prices. Richard Parks Furniture.
Discover Richard Parks.
132 High Street in Ellsworth.
Discover Richard Parks.
Honey, where's the countertop?
I sent it out to the granite shop this morning to be replaced.
Wow.
The quickest turnaround in the business, the Granite Shop in Sedgwick.
Welcome back, everyone. A local roofing company is donating their services worth $14,000 to a Newport man battling cancer. Our Calvin White shares more.
Workers from Freedom Roofing arrived at a Newport man's house early Wednesday morning. They stripped the old roof, quickly began laying shingles, and had a new roof in place by lunchtime. A normal day at work for the employees, but not for Michael Pete, the owner of the house who doesn't have to pay a dime for the new roof. Pete is fighting cancer and was selected by Freedom Roofing out of Bangor to receive the new roof. The company says it donates a roof to a community member in need every summer. Freedom Roofing owner Ryan Morris says the new roof would normally cost between $12,000 and $14,000, which he knows can be hard for someone also paying medical bills.
We like to give back, and this one way we can give back to the community and help somebody who genuinely needs it. We can do, again, anything we do to make his life a little bit easier, then that's what we're going to do.
Pete would have had to redo the roof himself next year, something he says would have taken him multiple days. Instead, it was done in just one. While the speed of the project shocked him, he was most impressed by the act of generosity.
I can't praise him enough for helping me that way. I mean, me and the wife, both of us, break me right out in tears. It's beautiful.
Freedom Roofing's program usually donates to veterans with financial problems, but wanted to help someone with health issues this year. Pete is an American Legion member and was recommended as someone deserving of the gift by Newport Post Commander Tom Kiespert.
Mike's been a great person here in the community, helping everybody, and they were looking for somebody with cancer, and Mike was battling cancer, so he was my first choice.
In Newport, Calvin White, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, now here's meteorologist Evan Biggs with our full weather forecast.
All righty, Janessa, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Quality Automotive and Brewer. Experience the Quality Automotive difference. Reliable service and expert care that you can depend on. Call us to schedule your next appointment, 922-2043. Wave heights not looking too bad. No advisories in effect. 2-foot wave heights being noted right about in here, and not looking too bad farther off towards the north and east. Farther out towards sea, 3 to 4 foot wave heights being measured at this moment in time. Checking out the water temperatures, we're currently in the lower to even upper 60s, a little bit of a wider range this morning, and even some 60s and even some 70s being measured farther out towards sea. And overall, just some clouds being measured this morning on the radar and satellite. So overall, we are looking nice and quiet this morning. As we do zoom things out, that right there is going to be our next system that will be tracking off towards the east, and that will be giving us some showers and even some thunderstorms that will be coming up rather soon. In fact, we have an isolated chance that will be coming up later on tonight. So futurecast in the meantime, we'll have a lot of sunshine today. You may notice a few passing clouds, more clouds on the way later on tonight with an isolated chance for a shower or storm possible. We'll keep some storm chances on the way as we head towards your Friday, albeit very isolated in nature. And then once we head towards Friday night, those storm chances will keep increasing. Your dew points, let's talk about those. Those will keep increasing too as the temperatures remain rather hot. So definitely keep that air conditioning handy, and the water too. Friday all the way through at least Sunday, we'll have dew points in the middle upper 60s, even some lower 70s out there, and a little bit of a reprieve late Sunday and a parts of Tuesday, but still a little bit humid nonetheless. So mostly sunny and hot today with highs in the low 90s and a west wind at about 5 miles per hour. Overnight, upper 60s, partly cloudy, some isolated storms, and the wind overall looking nice and calm. And then for tomorrow, partly cloudy, a few thunderstorms, lower 90s again for the high, and that west wind at about 5 miles per hour. Your extended forecast Saturday, showers and thunderstorms, mid 80s for the high. Temperatures go down a bit, and then upper 80s for your Sunday, a chance for showers and some thunderstorms. We keep the storms going Monday with highs in the upper 80s.
Hello, this is George Whelan, founder of Down East Direct Cremation. Over the years, you have come to trust Down East Direct Cremation as your cremation experts, creating the standard for simple, affordable, and respectful cremation care. Through these times of turbulent economy, COVID, rising energy costs, and inflation, Down East Direct Cremation has maintained our price. Unfortunately, due to the ever-increasing cost of doing business, I have been left with no other choice than to raise our price, effective September 8th, 2026. I am sorry. Of course, all current guaranteed mortuary trust agreements will be honored with no additional charges. You or anyone who is thinking of prepaying with Down East Direct Cremation will have until then to lock in our current price of $975 complete. For more information or to schedule an in-store appointment, please call us or prepay online using the button exclusively at downeastdirectcremation.com.
30 years living that Washington, D.C. lifestyle. That'll change a person. Getting rich from insider stock trading should be illegal. But Susan Collins doesn't think so. Susan Collins wants to keep it so senators can play the stock market, make millions of dollars doing that. Why we struggle to pay for gas, groceries, health insurance, the basics. For them to get all that money, why we're paying more, it's not right. It's not right. Tell Susan Collins to stop this congressional stock trade.
Rennie's, a main adventure.
We've got glue sticks, we got dry erase,
Melissa.
we got pens, we got
Melissa.
notebooks. Go to Rennie's for everything for back to school.
I didn't go to school anymore.
Thank you for shopping Rennie's.
The countdown to the Super Bowl is on, and GMA's road to the big game runs through all 32 teams. Now tomorrow, GMA's live from the Titans Nissan Stadium with superfans, cheerleaders, and a new Titan surprise you'll see first on GMA.
Astronomers have captured the highest resolution images yet of the sun's visible surface. These images revealing tiny swirling vortex-like patterns, according to footage released on Wednesday. The footage reveals continuously growing whirls of hot plasma, large on the human scale but small on the scale of a stellar surface, with diameters ranging from about 12 miles up to roughly 100 miles. The discovery was made using the U.S. National Science Foundation's Hawaii-based solar telescope. Researchers said that the swirls may help explain how energy builds up on the sun and triggers solar flares and eruptions. Well, young patients across the pond are bonding with some penguins. A group of children from London's Great Ormond Street Hospital met with Humboldt penguin chicks, including the newest baby penguin, Mildred, for the Mildred Creek ward where they're being treated. The kids had fun playing with the penguins and even made them some bracelets, which they helped design. The celebration comes to mark a new nature and well-being partnership between the zoo and the hospital.
Today, a really exciting day. We have had all of the children down from Mildred Creek ward. So we've had them basically meeting our penguin chicks, which we've actually, very specially, we've named one called Mildred after the ward. And we had a very fun day because today it was the banding of Mildred the penguin chick with her adult penguin colours. So about a month ago, we actually had the children design the colour combination for their wing band. So now Mildred the penguin is wearing the colours that the children picked, so that's really special.
The London Zoo and Great Ormond Street Hospital plan to co-develop nature-based activities and psychological interventions that support children and young people through all of their treatments. Well, that's all the time that we have left for this hour, but you can join us for the second hour of Good Morning Maine. That's next on Fox 22. Have a great day, everyone.
ABC 7, Fox 22. The place we call home, telling Maine stories wherever you roam. From sunrise shores to forests of pine, hard work, strong hearts, values that shine. From old towns to harbors, back roads to ocean blue. Neighbors helping neighbors in all that we do. Through storm Fox 22.
On the pavement, Sunday, October 4th at the Sea Dog on the Bangor waterfront. Register now at purpleirisfoundation.com or scan the QR code. Start a fundraiser, win prizes. Sign up by September 1st and get a free t-shirt. Goodie bags for the first 200 people to register. Cancer survivors sign up for free. Proceeds support those battling cancer in Maine. Pound the Pavement, sponsored by the Sea Dog, Summit America, Peter and Deb Brontes, Eventful Maine, ABC7, and Fox 22.
You're watching ABC7 Bangor.
Good morning, America. Growing concerns about the U.S. water supply. Breaking news about a new flu shot. And when's the last time you bought a concert ticket for 20 bucks? 1970.
Hello, everyone. Today on Good Morning Maine, the individual who was driving a bus in Rockland and hit and killed a child will likely avoid jail time. We'll have the details coming up. Plus, nurses at Maine Medical Center in Portland held a protest yesterday, urging the return of one of their coworkers who's detained by ICE. And Scarborough police are reporting more sharks were spotted off of Pine Point. We'll have the latest on that as well. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Janessa Bishop. Craig Colson is off for the day. We'll have those stories and much more coming up in the show. And as always, we thank you for joining us. Now for the weather, it looks like that sunny sky and high temperatures will continue throughout the day today. Let's start off this morning by getting a first check of our forecast. Devin Biggs joins us now.